Hey guys, welcome back to another Slice of 18 video, and today we're in my apartment, my brand new apartment. We're here in Miami, Florida. As you guys may know or may not know, we moved from Orlando, so now we're here. So you guys will be seeing more of these type of videos, me just talking to you guys, and I'm excited to announce that I will be attending Premium Scream Night this year for the first time ever, and I'm super excited. I'm going with my brother. As you guys may know or may not know, Premium Scream Night is a limited ticket event that happens the day before opening day of Halloween Horror Nights, which is August 28th. So that means we're going to be seeing the haunted houses, the scare zones, the shows, the food, everything before opening day. You're basically going in before the whole crowd goes, and it's a limited capacity. You get staggered through each house. It almost feels like you have the park to yourself, because for the amount of guests that are going to attend compared to a regular night, it's definitely less. And we're just going to vlog everything for you guys. Best houses, scare zones, the food. Best part about it, staggered entry through each haunted house. But that being said, we are going to Halloween Horror Nights in a couple of days. It is right around the corner. I am super excited. You get food that's included. You get free parking. You get limited capacity. So basically the houses can vary, but it's not going, you're not going to be basically waiting a long line, I hope. Let's see. This year will be technically the second year that they're doing this. Last year was their first phase of Premium Scream Night, and from what I heard, a lot of people liked it. It is kind of pricey, so I want to experience everything, and I want to do it like, I want to get content for you guys, and I want to basically enjoy the event to the fullest. That being said, let's get right into the video. This is going to be my hype list for Halloween Horror Nights 34. All right, starting at number 10. And number 10 is probably going to be a very controversial one, because most people would disagree where I place my 10th house, and that's going to be Fallout. Yes, I know. Don't hate me in the comments, but basically, I really don't care much about the franchise, to be quite honest. I know it's a video game. I haven't played it myself. I haven't seen the TV show on Amazon as well. I don't really know much about the franchise other than I've seen snippets of gameplay here and there. I've heard some of my friends talk about it in the past. I love how Horror Nights is bringing games and video games to the event. By all means, I'm a gamer myself, so for anyone who appreciates it, I can really resonate with that. However, Fallout is not really a game that I resonate with. I don't really like RPG games, and so when I saw this game, it didn't really appeal to me. This is why I probably didn't play it. For the TV show, I've seen snippets of it, so I kind of understand what's happening. I know it's post-apocalyptic, and I know it's revolving around horror elements, but like I said, not really something that I'm excited for. Don't really see it too creepy or scary as well, but I am gonna walk through that house various times, and I'm gonna keep an open mind about it. Who knows? Maybe after I go through it, I can change my mind. But as of right now, I'm going to put Fallout on number 10. And coming in on number 9, another controversial haunted house that I put on the bottom of my list. I know, again, please don't hate me, but that's going to be the horrors of the Wyatt 6. So WWE has never really resonated with me. Again, it's not something I grew up watching as a kid. I've always been into mixed martial arts, and I've been into watching UFC on TV. So not being a WWE fan and really not knowing much about the franchise, I gotta say it's my number 9 house. That being said, I know it's very popular. I know the franchise is. I know WWE is popular all over the world. So I have high hopes for this house. I'm going to keep an open mind as well. One thing I will say is, from what I've seen so far, I've noticed that it has a little bit of that grungy Rob Zombie type of feel, and I love Rob Zombie. It kind of gives me a House of a Thousand Corpse from Halloween Horror Nights 29, and I really enjoyed that house. So if it has anything to do with that type of vibe or feel to it. I feel like I could probably like this. I do have a buddy that is an extreme fanatic for WWE and knows way more than I do. I'm going to read you a little bit of what he says and why he's so excited about this house. He's most excited about how they're going to incorporate The Fiend into the house. You know, it was a sad day when Bray passed away in WWE history, so this is an awesome way to honor him. The Fiend is Bray Wyatt's character. He was the leader of the Wyatt Six. Right now, the leader is Uncle Howdy, which is played by Bo Dallas, which is Bray's real-life brother, and there are only 5 members, but from the looks of it, they're gonna keep 5 and keep the names Wyatt Six. One thing I do appreciate from what I've heard so far is we get to experience Bray Wyatt's kind of like ghostly figure, because the lantern plays a significant part in this house. And from what I hear, this is kind of like symbolizing the Fiend. Not being a fan or anything and knowing anything about it, I do appreciate the fan service, the tribute that they give Bray Wyatt in this house. I'm excited to see how they pull it off with the lantern and everything like that. So again, another house that can end up being a better house than I thought. So, but right now I'm gonna place it on number 9 just because of the fact that I'm not too familiar with it. You know what I mean? But I'm excited to go through it nevertheless. All right, and coming in on number 8, we have our first original house, Dolls Let's Play Dead. You know, I'm actually very excited to see how this house plays out, because I went through a house called Dollhouse of the Damned. And Dollhouse from the Damned was from Halloween Horror Nights 24. And the funny part is, it was also in a sprung tent. But I remember vividly in that house that there were these baby dolls in cribs. Basically like human-sized dolls. And if this house is anything like this, I mean, hey, it could probably be one of my tops. That's why I put it on number 8, because I'm excited for it, but it can go in either direction here. We've seen dolls in haunted houses various times. I mean, going back to when I went to Halloween Horror Nights 17, I remember going through the Dead Silence house, and that was a spectacular house, especially with how they pulled off the catwalk. Jumping forward a little bit, going through Puppet Theater, the captive audience in Halloween Horror Nights 30. That was another haunted house that I really liked, using puppets and things of that nature. A little bit more medieval vibes, but hey, dolls and puppets has been in the event. And even, you know, Scary Tales. You know, Scary Tales has been with Halloween Horror Nights ever since Halloween Horror Nights 11, you know? And I remember going through all the Scary Tales houses and even the Scare Zone. You know, Halloween Horror Nights 11 from 12 to 18 to Halloween Horror Nights 25, all the way to Halloween Horror Nights 28. They have a track record of using of doing doll houses or doing puppet houses and things like that. And I love it. I love it. And if they can bring it back even better this year, I'm totally for it. All right, and coming in at number 7, another original house, Grave of Flesh. You know, when I first heard about this house, I have to say I really wasn't too excited about it, you know, but the more I thought about it, the more it gets me excited for it, because this could be a sleeper. I feel like the original houses are sometimes way better than the IP houses, right? So since Grave of Flesh has to do with gore and bodies and what happens to you when you die and these monsters eating your flesh, I mean, this idea at first I was like, but now thinking, oh, you know, this is actually in a soundstage. You know, the fact that's in a soundstage, original houses in a soundstage usually go really hard. The sets are immaculate, humongous, you know? And if it's like we're going through a graveyard, similar to Poltergeist, you know, the opening, I will never forget that opening facade of Poltergeist when we're walking through underneath the house and going through the dirt, you know, maybe they can incorporate some of that as a facade. I mean, that was an excellent house. I'm just thinking like the scale of the soundstage, and they can really immerse us to know how it is to feel kind of claustrophobic, you know, in a way, in the dirt, trapped with these monsters eating your flesh. I don't know. I'm actually, the more I'm talking about it, the more excited I'm actually getting. This kind of reminds me of Descendants of Destruction. You know, in Halloween Horror Nights 31, they can definitely incorporate some of those elements, you know, going down in the descendants of the subway back then. But this is like the descending to the soil and to the ground and feeling claustrophobic. I think claustrophobia should play a major part in this house. If it's anything like Descendants of Destruction, I'm for. And coming in at number 6, Hatchet and Chains Demon Bounty Hunters. Now, if you attended last year's event, you'll know that this theme, Hatchet and Chains Demon Bounty Hunters, may sound familiar to you. That's because it was actually in the Slaughter Cinema House 2 of last year. And I will say that that scene, that part of the house, was not necessarily one of my favorites. I did like it. I did think it was house worthy. I just didn't think it would be coming in right the year after. I thought they would give it some more time with that idea, because I thought there was a lot more stronger scenes, in my opinion. But nevertheless, I did appreciate it. I did like it a lot, but it wasn't my favorite. However, I do love a nice Western spaghetti film or house or anything of that nature. I think this could be a really good house. I mean, again, it's an original house. It could really be something taken to the next level by these by all the Universal creatives. I will say this house kind of reminds me of Ghost Town. Now, if you're an OG like me, you'll know that Ghost Town is from Halloween Horror Nights 14 back in 2004. And that house, I remember going through it and loving it. It's still to this day, it reminds me of it because it was the first time that I ever got to see like a Western. If it's anything like that, you know, cowboys meeting monsters and meeting demons and stuff like that, this could be a really good one. I'm excited for it. But right now, Hatchet and Chains is gonna be right on number 6, right in the middle. I'm excited to see which one is the best original house this year.
That's my goal!
All right, we hit halfway through my house list. I'm gonna pause right here and ask you guys, if you like the content so far, give the video a like. I truly appreciate it. And tell me in the comments, which is your hype list for Halloween Horror Nights 34, because I'm curious to know if a lot of these match up. Anyways, let's get right back into the video. Going on number 5, Five Nights at Freddy's. Horror Nights has been trying to do this for many years now. There have been a lot of demand for bringing Five Nights at Freddy's, but they actually wanted to wait until they had the right tools and the right time to actually make this franchise really worth watching through a haunted house, because they wanted to do it exactly how you see it in the film. The fact that Horror Nights has taken their time and not rushed on this franchise, I do like that. Knowing that they did a lot of research and they're going to give their fans the fan service they deserve. I'm just more excited to see how they pull off these animatronics and puppeteers and these actual life-size bears. So I will say, I have never played the game. However, I have seen footage, gameplay of Five Nights at Freddy's, and from what I've seen, I like it. Even though I didn't play the game, I did watch the film, and I did like the film for the most part. There were kind of things that I didn't like, but like the story or whatnot. The concept is pretty cool, especially when you're playing the game. It can be really freaky. However, it's not something that I really care for, really. All right, and coming in on number 4, Jason Universe. You know, I've always been a Friday the 13th fan. I love the film. He's not my favorite slasher, so I'm excited to see how this will be translated, especially since they're trying to revamp, you know, the Jason universe and expand on his story a little bit. I'm excited to see those films when it comes out. You know, I have been going to the event for a while now. I'm an OG, but one thing I do remember is going to HHN34. In that event, you know, they had Jason, they had Freddy, they had Leatherface. It was basically it was called the Carnival of Carnage for Jack.
Recognize these guys. Freddy, Jason. Leatherface. Hurry, hurry, hurry! More, more, more! More haunted houses, more shows, and more nights than ever before. Are you ready to witness the carnival? Then take a chance and step inside. What have you got to lose except your sanity? Or maybe a few body parts.
I remember going through the Friday the 13th house in that year and liking it. You know, it was back when we had Jaws. So granted, long time ago, 2007. And it was in the Jaws queue. And it was awesome. It was awesome. I really enjoyed that house, and I'm excited to see it again years later, come back to Horror Nights and experience it one more time. But this time I feel like they're giving Jason a little revamp, right? I feel like he's coming back with more vengeance, and so I'm excited to see this new iteration of Jason. And yeah, I'll put this on number 4. This could be a fun one for sure. All right, and number 3, we have Gálkn, Monsters of the North. I'm actually super excited for this house because if it's anything like Dead Man's Pier, Winter's Wake, I feel like we have a really good contender for the best original house this year. I love what they've done in the past with using the cold elements and stuff like that, you know, snow and putting the house really cold. From what I've heard, they're going to bring that back into this house. So, you know, also I've always gravitated towards Norse mythology. I've always liked that theme, if you will. So if it has anything like that mixed with a little bit of, let's say, Dead Man's Pier, I think we have something good here. They also do large sets. So, you know, it's not in a soundstage. That's the only thing that I'm like a little worried about, because I feel like this theme, this idea works best in a soundstage, but who knows? We'll get to see. It could be a sleeper, could be the house, the best original house of the year. Who knows? But that being said, I'm excited for it. And coming in at number 2, we have El Artista. El Artista, a Spanish haunting, is going to be what I think is going to be my favorite original house. The reason I say this is because I'm excited to see the love of artistry being showcased in a house and how it comes to life. In the 1800s, there is a famed artist, Sergio Navarro, who's down on his luck with his career, in a bit of a dip, and looking for a little inspiration, and relocates himself to a manor in the middle of the woods called La Casa de Creación, the Creation House, a place known as a creative hub for the tortured artists, but has quite a bit of legend behind it. The manor's grounds are infested by spirits and artists that came before him, and also moved to the manor, and there's a burst sense of evil rooted deep within the manor grounds that exists mostly inside the conservatory. And within the conservatory, there is this deep sense of evil overtaking Sergio's mind and influencing his art, forcing him to paint horrifying things that come to life, and the spirits want to use his artwork as portals to break into our world. So it seems like we're getting a deeper connection between Artista and the conservatory as the main theme for this year's Halloween Horror Nights. The conservatory is one of the main settings in El Artista, a Spanish haunting, and it bleeds into the origins of horror and all the other scare zones within this year's event. It serves as a place where many artists can find inspiration, including Sergio's. The conservatory is a decaying greenhouse filled with twisted vines, gothic textures, stained glasses, and even gargoyles. And much like me, El Artista is a dreamer, you know, someone who's constantly has a vision and stuff like that. So we get to live his vision, his drawings in this house. The paranormal aspect of it is also something that's very interesting, as it kind of reminds me a little bit of the haunting of Hill House back in Halloween Horror Nights 30. You know, I really love that house. It was really well done. And it's got, if it's anything like The Haunting of Hill House, I think we got something good here. And then since it's in a soundstage, I know they're going to have big set pieces and things like that. So I feel like maybe they can have that big elaborate scale, which could play a big part in this house. But anyways, I'm excited to see this original house come to life. I am Latino, so maybe I have like a bias to this house, but El Artista looks like could be the best house of the year. But without further ado, it's time. It's time for my number one. Coming in on number one for my most anticipated house for Halloween Horror Nights 34. That is the Terrifier. I myself am a big Damien Leone fan. I love his work, and the Terrifier films are just so freaking cool. I mean, I love a slasher. I love gore when it comes to movies and things like that. I also like the fact that the film, started as an indie project. Had a low budget film, and it really grew into something awesome. I'm excited for this. Nevertheless, I don't think there's words that describe my excitement. I really liked all the creativity that comes behind all the kills. That's again something that has never been done in horror. The fact that you see all these gruesome kills and make it like funny and as well as creepy and messed up at the same time. This is a house that I believe is going to be the best house of all time. The scale and the reach that Horror Nights is pushing this is probably the most that they've ever pushed a house to ever be. You know, you go to the event, you get pretty much the same formula every single year. I mean, obviously different themes and different things like that. But this year with this house, they're doing everything different. This film could not translate into a haunted house if it wasn't done correctly. Horror Nights knew that. And the fact that they decided to go over the top with all the effects inside this house is what excites me the most, and why I believe this house will be the best house of all time. This house is going to be crazy. Nothing that we've ever seen before. From everything that they've been talking about and telling us and showing us, I'm going to call it right here and say that this house is going to be the best one. In my opinion, I'm excited to see how it translates in real life right in front of my eyes. The gore and the effects and the water effects particularly that are going to be used in this house are going to be over the top. And by that alone, it just gets me excited because we're going to get soaked. And I mean drenched, right? They're saying they're wetting you 100%. They're bringing up the valves all the way to 100%. And on top of that, they're saying that this house is going to have the most bodies that they've ever had in any haunted house. It's going to be creepy. It's going to be up. It's going to be insane. A fact that we get to see all of Art's kills, the most memorable plus more, just let alone the fact that we are going to experience a dry or wet path and have the ability to choose the path. You know, another thing I thought about is when I started seeing pictures of what the facade is going to look like, it kind of reminded me of Halloween Horror Nights 2000. In Halloween Horror Nights 10, they had Jack was first introduced that year, and he had his house called Fear House. And then later on in Halloween Horror Nights 17, they brought Jack's Fear House Clownovision, and those two facades remind me very much like the facade that we're going to see in this Terrifier film. And I remember walking through those Jack houses, and it till this day it's one of my favorite houses, Fear House, because of how scared I felt, you know, in that house. And that was in 2000. I can't imagine how creeped out I'm gonna feel coming out of that house. But all in all, that is my hype list for this year's event, Halloween Horror Nights 34. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have stuck around this far into the video, I want to know what you guys think about my hype list, and more importantly, I want to know what yours are. Give me, you know, number 1 and number 10, and maybe like a number 6 or no, yeah, give me like top, least, and right in the middle. I'm excited for this year event. It's gonna be, this year, my friends, is going to be one of the best years that we've seen in a long time. Without further ado, my friends, I'm going to wrap up the video. Thank you guys for watching another Slice of 18 video. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, or I'm going to have an premium Scream Night video coming for you guys as soon as I can get that edited. And that being said, I'll see you guys in the fog.